Hey guys, good morning. I don't usually start videos out this way, but I have a very, very special video for you today. I am working with Chantecaille today, and what I wanted to do was kind of show you some of the skincare that I have been absolutely loving from them and how I prep my skin before I do a makeup look, which is why I'm sitting here in my robe at my vanity. So I wanted to kind of do that skincare with you, and then we'll move on over to where I normally film, and I will show you like a full face of some of my favorite Chantecaille products. All of their products are favorites of mine. As you guys know, I am such a huge fan of Chantecaille, so a huge thank you to them for working with me on this video. And I also wanted to mention that I do have a 15% off site-wide coupon, which I will either flash on the screen here or put down below in the description box. So definitely please check out the description box if you want 15% off of the entire Chantecaille site. And this code will be good for 48 hours. It's not an affiliate code, and the links that I have to the Chantecaille site down below my description box are not affiliate links. So this 15% off is just for you guys. So I'm really, really excited to share that with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started with like my skin prep. So in the mornings, I feel like the things that I look for in skincare is a little bit different than what I look for during the evening. So I have very dry, sensitive skin. As you guys know, I have eczema prone skin, although that has definitely gotten better as I've gotten older. One of the few things. And in the evenings, I am looking for just pure hydration. I just want my skin to just be, slathered with emollients and with moisturization. But during the day, I find products that I would use sometimes during the evening to just be a little bit too rich and too heavy. And I find that I don't like that feeling when I'm, awake and doing things. I don't like that feeling of products necessarily sitting on my skin. And I also find that those products tend to interfere with my makeup. So I have been using a whole slew of Chantecaille skincare, and I feel like I've come to like my perfect combo for the daytime. So I've just freshly washed my face, and what I like to do, I don't know, maybe 2-3 times a week is this bio-lifting mask. And it is just such a wonderful mask because, again, it's not overly moisturizing, but it does have this wonderful consistency, and it does kind of like firm up my face. But because I have dry skin, historically I've kind of steered away from these products because I have found, quote unquote lifting or firming products to always make my skin feel tight, and for me that equates dry. But this doesn't make my skin feel dry at all or tight in any way. It just makes it feel firmer, which is just a completely different kind of feeling. So anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this mask, and I do like to put on a generous amount. So I put a nice thick layer of this all over my skin, and I let this sit for about 15 minutes. I feel like skin prep is so important if you want your makeup to look nice, especially your foundation. And I feel like a lot of masks will tell you like the optimal time to kind of leave it on your skin, but I feel like if you can just even do like 5 minutes, it's so helpful. So I'm just gonna leave this mask on for about 15 minutes. So while this is sitting on my face, I figured I'd let you know what I did cleanse my skin with this morning, and it is with the Chantecaille Rice and Geranium Foaming Cleanser. And admittedly, again, because I have very dry skin, I stay away from things that say foaming in them. Foaming generally for me means that it's going to be drying or it's going to be stripping in a way, but this is such a different and like unique kind of cleanser, and it doesn't like foam where you have these like big suds on your face like a typical kind of foaming cleanser. It has like a thickness, so all it really does is kind of emulsify, if you will. It doesn't really like lather up. So what I do is I just squeeze out a little bit of this, and what I do is just spray some of the Chantecaille Pure Rose Water, which is like magic in a bottle. And what I'll do is spray about five spritzes of it into like a dime to nickel size amount of this foaming cleanser. And I just kind of combine the two in my hands, and then I just spread it on my face. This cleanser is fairly thick, so I do have to kind of like work it in, and there is a little bit of a grit to it. So there's definitely like a very, very light exfoliation that goes on. And this is a cleanser, again, because I have very dry skin, and I don't like to exfoliate too much. My skin is, a little bit on the more sensitive side. This is a cleanser that I use either when my skin is feeling a little bit oily or if I've worked out and my skin just feels really, really grimy, I like to go in with a cleanser like this. So I would say I probably use this like 3 to 4 times a week. It's really wonderful. It rinses away very, very easily. Despite its like thicker kind of consistency and it kind of clings to the skin, it really rinses away very easily and very quickly, which is really, really great. I don't like cleansers that like I really have to work out to remove. So that is what I used to cleanse my skin this morning before I put the mask on. So I'm just gonna sit here, check my Instagram, reply to some comments, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. It's been 15 minutes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of like tissue off the leftovers of the mask. And this mask makes my skin like so smooth. It's amazing. Again, perfect for like skin prep pre like makeup application. So let's go ahead and finish up my skincare prep and then we can hop into the makeup. So next I'm gonna go ahead and apply some of the BioLifting serum. This is part of the same line as the mask. So it has this really wonderful kind of thicker consistency. Let me just show you here. I hope you guys can see it. But serums for me generally are pretty thin, and this one is, it's almost like a gel. So I drop about 2 or 3 drops, not too much. Again, I don't like too much skincare down before I'm about to apply makeup. So just a really nice thin layer of this serum. And again, it just does that great kind of like firming action. It's like an addition to the mask. And as for moisturizer, I've been playing around with a lot of the Chantecaille moisturizers. They're all really, really lovely, but the one that I've kind of landed on and keep reaching for is the Rose de May cream. It just has like a really slight rose fragrance, but I find that it really kind of like moisturizes my skin, but again, not overly, so it doesn't feel like it's just sort of sitting on top of my skin. It really just sort of soaks in and moisturizes my skin, and rose is really, really great for sensitive skin. So for cream, it has like a little bit of a lighter texture. It's not super thick. Again, what I'm looking for in a daytime cream. Oh, and I forgot to mention, so the Rose de May face oil is one that I've been using quite a bit. This is definitely an oil that's like a little bit on the thicker side. It's very, very dense. A little bit goes a very long way. And I find that on the days that I do the mask, I don't necessarily feel like I need the oil. Again, it's just, I don't know, I don't like too much skincare down before I do makeup. So I kind of go between these two. On the days that I don't use the mask, I will apply like 1 or 2 drops of this oil. That's it. And I will apply this before the moisturizer. And then last but not least, a little eye cream. So again, when it comes to skin prep for makeup application, the under eyes, especially someone my age at 47, the under eyes are so important. They could be so fickle. I feel like some days they look okay and some days they look like the Saharan desert. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply some of the Chantecaille Rose de May Eye Lift, and it comes in this really cool applicator with this very, very cool tip, which is so great if you suffer from puffiness like I do, especially during the allergy season. I feel like my eyes have been really puffy. So sometimes I'll just run this over my eyes before I even start to apply the eye cream. It just feels so great. It's so soothing. And then the applicator has this like rubber button, basically. So you just depress that, and then the eye cream comes out of the tip. So there it is, and I'm just going to dab a little bit and spread it around the eye area. I like to bring my eye cream out really far towards my temples and put a little bit on my lids. I am definitely in the minority here where I have very dry eyelids as well, but if you have oily eyelids, you probably want to not do this part. I really could sit here and do this forever. It feels so good. All right, skin prep is done. I'm gonna go ahead and put on some clothes and then I'll be back to put on my full face of Chantecaille. I'm so excited. All right, so we're ready for makeup now, and I bet you guys thought I forgot SPF, but I'm actually gonna be using the Chantecaille primer, which has an SPF 45 in there. It's their Ultra Sun Protection Sunscreen. I have used this and talked about this product a lot on my channel, but it is a wonderful primer, and it even does a lovely job kind of blurring and smoothing the skin, so that if I'm feeling really low maintenance, but I just want a little kind of perfecting for my skin, I'll put this primer on and nothing else. Well, maybe some lip gloss or something, but no other makeup. You do have to shake it well, and it does have a very interesting consistency. It's a lot thinner than you think it's going to be. and it has like a milky appearance. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spread that on. Doesn't that do such a nice job kind of like blurring like little imperfections and like fine lines and stuff? I feel like my forehead especially looks like really smooth, and I have fairly deep wrinkles in there. And for foundation, I'm gonna go ahead and use the Future Skin Gel Foundation from Chantecaille. I have it in the shade Vanilla, and this has just a lovely, gorgeous consistency. It is gel-based, so it looks kind of thick in the tub here, but it actually goes on fairly thin and it feels really cooling on the skin. And I was actually watching a Chantecaille video. If you want to mix in a little bit of that biolifting mask in here, just to give yourself like a little bit of extra hydration, you can do that, and it's lovely. I've done it maybe twice now, and it's really great for those super dry days. Since I put the mask on already, I'm going to skip that step and just put the foundation on straight. And I've got my Chantecaille foundation and mask brush. This is a wonderful size brush. It's like not too big, not too small, and I really like it because you can get, you know, around the crevices and like into your hairline easily. So I'm just gonna pick up some of the foundation with the brush, and then I'm just gonna start sweeping from the center out. And this foundation I find to have like a fairly light coverage. I feel like it goes on one light layer, like a light medium coverage. Like you can still see my sunspots here. And for someone like myself who really enjoys a light medium coverage, it's really great. But you can also build it up. If you want to add just another light layer of this, you can get it kind of close to like a medium coverage. But for me, I really like this kind of natural coverage that it has. I really like that it allows a little bit of my skin to kind of peek through. All right, so there is the Future Skin foundation applied. Again, one light layer. I feel like I have like a light medium coverage. And I think you guys can see the finish here. It is a beautiful, like luminous, radiant finish. And again, because I have dry skin, I just think it looks so beautiful on the skin. It just makes me look really healthy. Oh, and before I forget, I have worn this foundation with a mask on, and it's not transfer proof, but it definitely transferred less than a lot of my other foundations, which was such a pleasant surprise. So I definitely recommend this if you're gonna be wearing a mask, you know, a lot of the day or on and off all day or something. For me, this held up under a mask fairly well. And for concealer, I'm just gonna throw on some of the Le Camouflage Stilo Anti-Fatigue Corrector Pen, and I have it in the shade 2. And I think my under eyes just need a little bit, a lot more help. And I'm just gonna use the same foundation brush to blend that in. All right, and to set my face, I'm just gonna use some of the HD Perfecting Powder. This comes in 2 shades, and this is the lighter one. The other one is like almost on my skin tone, like a very subtle kind of bronze. So I'm just gonna use this to set my face. So I'm just gonna start with the eye area. And I always like to pounce my powder on and then go in sweeping motions. And then sweep off any excess. And this has got to be one of the softest, like silkiest, most finely milled powders I have ever experienced. So soft. And now for bronzer, I'm gonna use one of my favorite bronzers, and this is the Real Bronze in the shade Goa. And I'm just gonna go in with the same brush here, nice and fluffy, and apply it to the perimeter of my face, under my cheekbone, on my chin. And this bronzer, you guys have heard me talk about like a gazillion times, but it is a baked product. So I just love how baked products go onto the skin. It's almost like they meld into your skin like a cream. They're just so beautiful. They build really beautifully. And the shade of this Goa one versus the Serena, which is the other shade in this Real Bronze. The Serena is a little bit lighter and a little bit warmer. This is, I would say, a little bit more neutral, which is why I reach for this one a little bit more, but they're both so gorgeous. And as for blush, I'm gonna go ahead and use one of their cheek gelées in Happy. And this is like a cream blush. It goes on over powder fine, but of course you can put it down over your foundation under powder or over powder. Whenever I use any kind of cream or liquid product over powder, I'm just careful in not causing like too much friction in case I, you know, lift the powder up or whatever underneath, but I've never had any problems when it comes to their cheek gelées. So I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit out onto the back of my hand. And now I've got the Chantecaille cheek brush, and I'm gonna dip into the cheek gelée and just kind of stipple this over my cheeks and kind of build it up slowly. I didn't even show you, I squeezed out way too much, but that is the Happy shade. This is definitely one of those cheap products that if you want to kind of skip the highlighter step, you definitely can, because this has a glow all on its own. It's so gorgeous. I'm just gonna build it up a little bit more on the apples of my cheeks here and blend out. And these cheek gelées make for a really great base if you want to put some of the Chantecaille powder blush over it. So I have Grace, which is the sea turtle one, and my turtle's about to disappear. But this is the Grace shade, and this is just a really great like neutral shade. This works on any kind of like fair to light medium skin tone, I would say, you know, from like warm to cool skin tones. And so I'm just gonna dab just a little bit of this over the cheek gelée. Just a little bit. You guys know how much I like a strong blush. Yeah, but just a little bit of that powder blush just made everything kind of pop. So like I mentioned, I think you can forego highlighter when you use that cheek gelée. It's just, oh, it just has such a beautiful radiance all on its own. So I think I am gonna forego highlighter, and let's move on to eyes. So I've got the Chantecaille Waterproof Brow Definer, and surprisingly, I have it in the shade Light Taupe, and it works. So here is the pencil, and you can see the light taupe there, but it really is quite the universal shade. As you can tell, I have pretty dark brows, but this works just fine. So I'm just gonna color in and fill my brows. But doesn't that look great? It doesn't look like too light at all. So surprising. And the consistency of this brow pencil is great. It is like one of those mistake-proof ones where I feel like I really kind of have to, you know, make an effort to get a dark line, but if I just graze this over my brows, it's just really just light pigmentation, which is so great. And a nice big spoolie on the other side. Next, eyeshadow. You guys know how much I love the Chantecaille Le Chrome Luxe Eye Duos. These are the eyeshadow duos that are just sparkly and shimmery, and they're just so beautiful. And I find I can do a quick eye look with the two shades that are in all of these duos, but because they have such a gorgeous finish, I don't feel like it's a very simple look. I feel like it can go from day to night really beautifully. So the two duos that I've been going really hard with over like the spring summer were Tibet and Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo is like a peachy kind of duo, and Tibet is just like a very neutral one, which I can imagine I'm gonna be using that just all year round. But the two that I've been definitely focusing on more now that we're getting into the cooler months, and I feel like cool toned eyeshadows are really making like a very strong comeback, I have been gravitating towards Grand Canal, which is actually the very first eye duo I ever purchased from Chantecaille. So this one definitely leans cool, but because there's like a little bit of warmth in this one, I find this one to be kind of like a cool neutral. And then the other one, which I actually wore in a recent video, this is Piazza San Marco, and this one is just straight up cool tone. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So I did want to show both of these to you. So I'm going to put one on one eye and one on the other. So I'm going to start with the Piazza San Marco, and you'll see how gorgeous these shadows are. But what is really something that I think people don't talk about when it comes to these duos, because they're just so gorgeous, you kind of end up talking about the pigmentation and the finish, is just how easy they are. And I find myself only using one brush if I go into the lighter shade first. So if I go into the lighter shade first and work that into my lid, and then just use the same brush and I go into the deeper shade, it works out fine. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into this lighter shade, and I've got the Chantecaille eye definer brush here, and all I do is just blend the lighter shade, the inner corner of my eye, and I just blend it over the center of my lid. Do you see this incredible finish? And by the way, you can work these shadows wet too. So if this isn't enough shimmer for you, you can use these wet and you get this kind of like liquid metal effect. They're so, so beautiful. These are by far some of my favorite shimmery shadows. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna do like a full eye look with each duo, just so you guys can get, like, I really want you guys to get like a true sense of these duos because I love them so much. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply the Piazza San Marco to my left eye as well, and then we'll move on to the Grand Canal. So it is definitely worth noting that all of the shadows, like the single shadows in each duo, are just great one and done shadows too. Like if I just spread this one shade all over my lid, oh, it's such a, like a perfect winter holiday party kind of look. I just love it. And now I'm gonna go into the deeper shade, same brush, didn't clean it off. And I'm just going to start on the outer corner and blend in. And that is Piazza San Marco. Isn't that just gorgeous? And I did have this eye look on in my September favorites video. So if you want to see this like fully with like mascara and eyeliner and everything else, definitely check out that video. But I'm going to go ahead and take this off and then we'll go ahead and put on the Grand Canal duo. All right, I just cleaned off this Chantecaille eye definer brush and let's go into Grand Canal now. So I am going to go into the lighter shade first again and apply this to the inner corner and then over to the center. And then I'm gonna go into this deeper shade, which is this gray, but there's like a little bit of green to it. And it's just such a lovely color. And just adding the deeper shade to the outer corner and sweeping it up and over. So there's Grand Canal. Aren't these just so, so beautiful? And really the best part is that they're so easy to use. And I feel like you end up with this eye look that is so like fancy and it takes like 2 minutes. All right, so I'm gonna tightline my upper waterline with their Luster Glide Silk Infused Eyeliner. I have the shade Violet Damask, and this is such a gorgeous eyeliner. It goes on so smoothly and evenly and like it's so pigmented and it just stays put. It's really lovely. And this shade is so, so gorgeous. I mean, it's really, really dark, but it's purple. So you get like the effect of a black eyeliner, but there's just like a little something else going on. So I'm just gonna drag this, my upper waterline underneath my lashes. And then in my lower waterline, I'm gonna use the Brightening Eye Kajal in Nude. This is my favorite waterline, like nude pencil out there because the shade of it, the color of it is just right. Not too white, not too peach. And it does that amazing like awakening effect. It's so beautiful. And it stays in my waterline all day. All right, I'm just going to curl my lashes. I'm gonna use the Chantecaille Faux Cils Longest Lash Mascara. This mascara is so wonderful. There's like rose oil in here to help like condition your lashes. There are peptides in here to help your lashes grow and like stay healthy. And this mascara is meant to like volumize and lengthen. It just really does everything. I just call it my pretty mascara. This is the mascara that just makes my lashes look really pretty. I feel like this is the most well-rounded mascara that I have in my collection. I feel like I have mascaras that really give me a lot of volume. I feel like I have mascaras that do a lot of separating and lengthening, but this really kind of does it all. And the best part is it doesn't smudge, it doesn't flake, it just doesn't do anything weird, you know, as I'm wearing it throughout the day. It's just wonderful. And there's like a certain like stickiness to this mascara where it's not goopy, and I wouldn't say it's sticky in that like it feels gross on the lashes. I just find that the texture of this mascara makes it very easy to apply. Like it clings to my lashes and I don't feel like I ever get any on my eyelids, and I very often get mascara on my eyelids. It ends up being kind of a messy affair, but I never have that problem with this mascara. It always just goes on really, really well. So that is just one coat of the mascara, and you guys know how pathetic my lashes are, so I think they look just really pretty. All right, going in for coat number 2. Coat number 2 is definitely when you start to see the volume build up. So there is coat number 2. And finally for lips, I wanted to use my favorite Chantecaille formula, which is the Lip Veil formula. And for their fall 2020 collection, they came out with 3 new limited edition shades in their Lip Veil. So here they are, and let's see what shade I think will work best. So I think shade Plumeria is going to work the best. This is the lightest one out of the 3, and it's the most pinky. I would say it's very neutral, so I think it's going to go really well with this eye and cheek look. I just love, love, love this lip veil formula. It feels like a lip mask. My lips feel better after wearing this lipstick a full day, which is not common when it comes to lip products. I usually feel like I need to do a lot of conditioning after I remove my lipstick, but that is not the case with these lip veils. These are just, they're so moisturizing and they're so, so comfortable. The colors are so gorgeous. And for something that's so moisturizing, it's really surprising how pigmented they are. They just have like the right amount of pigmentation, the perfect amount of moisturization. Like they're just the perfect lip product to me. So that is the lip veil in Plumeria. All right, and last but not least, I'm gonna use the Pure Rose Water. Again, you can use this pretty much, I think, in any step of your either skincare or your makeup. If maybe you've put down like a little bit too much powder and you want things to kind of like meld into your skin a little bit more, this rose water is great. This is great just randomly throughout the day if you're feeling a little bit dehydrated or if you just need a little pick-me-up. This is my favorite face mist. It's so lightweight, it's so fresh feeling, it leaves 0 film on the skin. It is really, really gorgeous. So I'm just gonna spray a little bit on. Oh, it's so lovely. It's so lightweight. And by the way, this is like a limited edition package that I have. This is what the typical rose water looks like. So just FYI. And it has just as lovely a spritzer as I've been using, really, really fine mist. So it's a great last step to your makeup routine. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A huge thank you to you guys for tuning in, and a big, big thank you to Chantecaille for sponsoring this video. And please do not forget to check down below in the description box for my 15% off code for the entire site of chantecaille.com, and it will be good for 48 hours once this video is posted. So definitely take advantage of it. I love Chantecaille. You guys know I've gone on and on about this brand for so long, and they're really isn't anything that I don't like from their line. It is absolutely impeccable. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.